So this woman is about to discover that her landlady has been feeding them in exchange for their fortune. And when she fights back, the landlady dies in the most disturbing way possible. So this woman, her name is Mrs. Badejo. Mrs. Badejo is very observant. She notices everything and even the ones nobody seems to. Mrs. Badejo is a very religious woman, the kind whose instincts are always right, and she has just moved into a new compound with her family. Her family is stable. Her husband has a good job and all her kids are in school. This compound is lively. Each of the tenants are okay and even share things among themselves a lot. The compound is a lively one. It's the kind where chairs are always scattered in the courtyard, the kids are outside playing, and the neighbors gossip in front of shops that sell granite and pure water. And at the center of it all is Madam Risi, the landlady. This woman is robust. She's always in flowing Ankara wrappers, gold bangles clicking on her wrists, and her eyes do the talking even before she opens her mouth. Madam Risi has always acted strange. She's always watching and she notices everything going on in the compound. She knows everyone that enters and even has the audacity to question them about things that are clearly not her business. You could be carrying something in a nylon bag and she calls you to check what's inside, claiming she cares about the well-being of her tenants. She says she wants her house to remain in good shape since she's the only one who has cared for it since her husband passed. But here's where things get interesting. From the past week they moved in, Mrs. Badejo notices this peculiar routine. Every other time Madam Risi sends plates of food and drinks to all tenants, she calls it Sarah, good offerings. It feels generous at first, but Madam Risi always lingers to watch them collect it, smiling like she was up to something. Sometimes she even goes as far as asking if they've eaten it. She goes around knocking on people's doors, asking if they enjoyed the food. Mrs. Badejo is getting very uncomfortable with Madam Risi's attitude. One evening, Mrs. Badejo is gisting with Madam Chidi, who is one of her neighbors. This woman reveals that things have been terrible for her family since they moved to the compound. She doesn't know when exactly it started, but it has always been from one bad news to the other. Her husband first loses a promotion he was supposed to get. His boss begins to dislike him. Their sons fall sick and doesn't get any better till they spend every penny in their savings. Then all of a sudden, the boy recovers like he knows they had no money left. She's clearly tired, but doesn't know what to do. This conversation makes Mrs. Badejo very suspicious of their landlady, especially since she's noticed that Madam Risi seems happiest when bad news spread in the compound. Every family in the compound is struggling financially, yet Madam Risi's generosity keeps increasing. Mrs. Badejo realizes that if she ignores her instincts, her family might join this circle of stagnation where no one seems to progress despite working hard. Something very shocking happens. Mr. Badejo gets promoted at work and they finally save enough for a second-hand Toyota Corolla. But Madam Risi, the landlady, hears the news and suddenly, very soon afterwards, she calls for a rent increment. She's asking for double what their neighbors, landlords charge for the same type of house, claiming a lot of repairs need to be done in the compound and money is needed. The same month, their new car mysteriously develops engine trouble and her husband's office starts delaying salary payments. Mrs. Badejo starts to panic. She pleads with her husband to look for a different place instead of paying the new rent, but her husband dismisses it, saying she's just being paranoid and it's stressful getting a new place. That night, Mrs. Badejo makes a decision that will change everything. She gathers her children, Kemi, Biodun, and little Folake. Listen carefully, she whispers. When Mama Risi gives you food, collect it and smile, but don't eat it. Throw it away where she cannot see. The children are confused, but they trust their mother. Many months pass and strangely, things are falling in place for them. Her husband's salary is restored and they get more customers from their side business. When Madam Risi notices, she begins hovering around their flat, asking probing questions about their sudden prosperity. And one afternoon, she corners Mrs. Badejo by the water pump. And what she says next will confirm Mrs. Badejo's worst fears. Mrs. Badejo, you people don't eat my Sarah anymore. Madam Risi says this makes Mrs. Badejo scared. But she lies about eating them and forces a smile. Madam Risi still insists that she would know if they were eating it. Mrs. Badejo says nothing. She just looks at her. This confirms the doubt she had about the food offering. She cries to her husband that night, explaining what happened in the afternoon. She insists they need to leave before Madam Risi comes up with an another idea to make them lose what they have, but the husband insists they should wait till the following year. Unable to leave, Mrs. Badejo keeps her guard up. Then months later, she gets pregnant with what will be their last child. When Madam Risi hears about it, she scoffs. She asks her how she was able to get pregnant, asking if she wasn't already too old for that, or what they were looking for after 3 children. Like, it's any of her business. Mrs. Badejo, now sure of the woman's spiritual interference, fires back with words that will leave Madam Risi confused. Don't worry, mommy. Anyone who doesn't want me to deliver this child safely will not live to see the child born. Madam Risi laughs so hard as this. She asks her who she thinks she is to utter such words, claiming her words have no power. But Mrs. Badejo's words are about to come through. Not long after, Madam Risi falls mysteriously ill. People start talking about it. She has taken every prescribed medicine and nothing seems to be working. Even the doctors don't know what is wrong. They just keep recommending more tests. She just lies on the sick bed, unresponsive to treatment. As Madam Risi's condition worsens, she realizes she might not recover from this illness and has resigned to fate. She asks to see Mrs. Badejo to apologize, but Mrs. Badejo refuses. The landlady finally passes in the most disturbing way. Mrs. Badejo feels no remorse, just thankful for her family. Months later, Madam Risi's children return from abroad and issue quick notices to all tenants. The Badejos move to a new place, and not long after, Mr. Badejo relocates abroad, sending for the whole family later. They're living well now, with flourishing businesses, better schools for the kids, and most importantly, they're all doing well, including the baby that Madam Risi didn't want to see born. The lesson from this story is that not every gift is a blessing. Shine your eyes, because sometimes the hand that feeds you might be the same one holding you down.